everyone. You found Sanctuary's Hot Topic series. I'm Myrna Haskell, executive editor of Sanctuary Magazine. This is an online publication for women that empowers and inspires. Our focus is the arts, philanthropy, health and wellness, culture, and community. You can find us at sanctuary-magazine.com. This morning, my guest is award-winning author Dani Alpert, and her book, Hello, Who Is This? Margaret, is excerpted in our September issue. And if you have not seen the excerpt, I actually laughed out loud multiple times. You can find it from our book excerpts graphic from our homepage and get to that pretty easily. Dani also had a decades-long career in theater and television and film as a writer, director, and performer. Welcome, Dani. It's fabulous to have you on the show today.
Thank you. And thank you for that title reading. That was the best reading of the title ever.
Oh, thank you. Really, I love it. I love it. And we're going to get into the title and the cover and all of that. But I was hoping that just to get us rolling and so that listeners can hear a little bit of your style and your tone and the book. The book is actually a collection of essays, folks. So would you like to read a little bit from the book for us to start?
Why not? Anything for you.
Okay.
All right. This is titled Between Fantasy and Reality is a Stripper Pole. The surest way to put me on the defensive is to tell me I can't do something. People love to impose their limitations onto others, as if we're all the same, with the same skill sets and talents. They also love to make assumptions about what's possible or no longer possible, especially when we hit a certain age. Maybe I don't have any limitations. I don't know what I'm capable of, nor do these idiots. Their meritless notions are a gauntlet thrown at my feet. And now I have to drag myself out of bed and defend myself. This defiance is the how and why that led me to standing half naked on a stage in Lower Manhattan at a pole fitness competition in my late 40s. A few months earlier, I'd read a cloying article about diminishing dreams and estrogen levels, and I wanted to spit. Paragraph after paragraph, the author babbled on about youthful dreams in the rearview mirror and the importance of radical acceptance and to love my crepey elbows. This is life, I read. The beauty of age is knowing when to let go of activities no longer viable. The article concluded with, embrace this stage of life, thinking of your sagging earlobes as a signs of maturity and wisdom. I immediately signed up for a pole class because now I had something to prove.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So
Thank
that
you.
is a piece from the excerpt that you folks can go to at Sanctuary Magazine and read and also learn more about the book and purchase the book. I highly recommend. Okay, Dani, so how long have you been incorporating? I feel like you were one of those people who was always funny as a child, but you can tell me whether that's true or not. But how long have you been incorporating humor into your career, your writing works, your books? How long has that been? The whole time, or you found yourself along the way?
I think the whole time. I think I grew up in a family that our love language was humor. So whether we were fighting or discussing or it was sad or there was always humor. I mean, sometimes dark humor, but that's what I was growing up on. And then when I started writing or even performing, it was always comedy. It was always humor. And then when I started writing, humor is always infused into all of my writing. So I don't know if there was a time where it wasn't a part of my life or my creative endeavors.
And, it's such a good thing because humor makes me think of, a similarity like what a hug does for a person,
Oh,
They say that it's healthy to hug.
Yes.
It's also healthy to laugh, right?
Absolutely.
And we need that these days. And
oh, my
humor
goodness.
uplifts, right? And it's just, I know that our audience loves it too. So that's why I knew I wanted to have you on.
I would like to just say in that. So two things. One, and you can read it in the book. My oh my God, what am I trying to say? When I met Norman Lear, that's a story in the book. But he had always said that humor added years to his life, and he lived to 101.
There you go.
So it is about wellness when you're talking about humor.
And it's a release, right? When
and
you
it's a
laugh,
release.
you feel the release.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think it's the only way we're getting through this crazy, crazy world right now. And everybody there's enough serious stuff out there. I can't, it's my way of balancing that.
And I can't agree with you more. I just, it's better than a jog.
It really is.
It really is. It really is.
I'm not advocating, just sitting and sitting.
I'm not advocating either. Oh my
sitting
goodness,
on your
I'll be
ass
getting
and
letters.
laughing. No. Maybe take a walk and laugh. You can do both. You can multitask. You could definitely do both.
So I think I read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, probably about, I don't know, 10 times when I was 9 or 10 years old.
Sure.
I'm dating myself, of course, but who cares?
No.
And so when I saw the title of your book, I couldn't help it, but it was the first thing I thought of, particularly because also the graphic on the front page, which is also just hysterical, the title and the front of the book is enough to make somebody want to open it as well. And so I was hoping you might say something a little bit about the title and the cover.
Well, the title, both took probably longer to come to like a final draft of than the entire book took me to write. The title, it went through so many iterations, and embarrassingly enough, I didn't think about the Judy Blume connection because it was originally hello, who is this? Meaning, like, I'm nobody. Nobody knows who I am. But maybe they'll read my book and then they'll learn more about me than they've ever could ever want to know. So, but then I was talking to somebody and he said, and it was a man. Not that I'm being sexist or anything, but he said, "Oh, that reminds me of Judy Blume's title." And I thought, oh my God, what an idiot. Like I hadn't even thought about it. So I added Margaret. And I just think Margaret in and of itself is a funny name.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just rings funny to me. So then that's where the title came. And it could mean different things to different people. I mean, people that didn't grow up with Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It can just mean something else to them. And then as far as the photo, oh my God, that took forever. It took forever.
Oh my
goodness. Oh my God. So finally we were working with older women's faces and it just had to just be funny. Forget about the title. For me, it was, if I took away the title, is the image, what will the image make you laugh? And so I
have to tell you, though, as a reader, what I thought of it. I feel like I could teach a class on the title. That's how good
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So as a Bloom, like she was an amazing writer as well. But you know what I thought of is that the title was sort of a spin on, well, Margaret's grown up now, and now she's offering me advice.
Oh,
that's kind of how I saw
it.
Like, I mean, in a split second. You know what I mean, Dani? That's what I thought of.
No, I love that. And for me, when it all kind of came together, what was making me laugh was that the old woman on the cover is God, and Margaret's still calling her for advice.
Oh, that works too, see?
Like,
I'm telling you.
Get over it. What? Margaret, again? Have you not figured this out? Move along. Like, get it together. So, but I love different, but that's the beauty. Like,
that's wonderful.
I'm not going to tell you how to read that or what to take from that.
But there's a lot to take, right? Which is what makes it so spot on and so wonderful. So I just wanted to praise you on the title and the cover just to begin, and then you open it up and you get all of these wonderful essays.
Thank you.
But anyway, so I had a feeling you were going to tell me because I wanted to, as a fellow writer, dig in a little bit to some process and how we make things funny because, with the stand-up, of course, we have, the facial expressions and the tone and the body language and all that help with the funny, right?
Right.
So when you're writing humor, to me, that's like the most difficult thing. I feel like it's easier to write about sadness, about anger, other types of emotions, but humor, because you're just seeing, the text on a page, and you're not getting those other sorts of things that come out through looking at somebody and their emotions on their face, etc., that it's tough.
Right.
So I was just wondering if you wanted to say anything about specifically writing humor, how do you know it's funny? Anything you want to say about how you get that across as an emotion
Sure.
and get somebody to actually laugh out loud like I did when I was reading your excerpt?
I do think it's difficult, but if you told me that I had to write a drama or something dramatic or something sad, but in a very serious tone, I don't think I could do it. Like that's just not where.
Okay.
That's just not
Interesting.
that's just not how I'm wired. It would be phony. It would be forced. It would be self-conscious. It would be all of these things you don't want when you're writing. So the humor for me, I mean, it just sort of comes to me. I also have to read out loud.
I was going to ask you about
Yeah,
that.
it does not work.
Yeah.
I have been told on several occasions when the person has read my work, like, are you writing a term paper? That is not how you sound. What are you doing? And I'm not deep. I'm not literate. I'm not academic. I'm not any of these things. So my stuff should not sound like I'm writing a term paper.
Yes.
It needs to sound like I speak, because that's just the kind of stuff that I'm writing. So I want you to get a sense of me while you're reading. And so you've got to pick up on my tone. You've got to get a sense of my tone and my delivery and all of that. And I can't write unless I hear it out loud. Like I'll write it, but then I read everything out loud. I stand in front of a music stand and I put the book there and I read as if I'm performing it.
Yeah, and you've been a performer too, so I
Right.
could see how that connection is there and how that
Right.
helps you. But I'm really stuck on something you said, which I know we have a lot of writers who follow us, so I hope they heard this too. Is that for you, writing about something more serious or anything maudlin or something like that would be a lot harder because that's not who you are inside. So I'm hearing it's more about the authenticity of presenting self
Right.
that comes through in the writing.
Exactly. Spot on. Yes.
Yeah.
I,
So you
that's why
have to be funny.
well,
You have to be funny
I
already,
mean,
because I was going to ask you about that. Like, is it learned? Is writing like comedy or writing humor a learned thing? Can it be a learned thing?
I think some technical aspects can be learned. Like I can learn how to sew. I may not be a very good sewer though, but I can learn how to do technically. I don't know if you can actually teach innate sense of humor, but humor is also subjective. I mean, I'm not a Laurel and Hardy humor
Right.
fan. So there's different, there's a full spectrum of humor.
Absolutely.
I did learn though from a television writer, editor friend of mine that when I'm ending paragraphs you should try to end on a funny, some kind of button, some kind of beat, some kind of funny. And I wasn't doing that. It was just whatever the hell I was doing. It wasn't working. So once I put that in my brain, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so much better to end some, paragraph on a high, on a laugh, if you can. I mean, but
But you were already funny.
I don't want, yes.
So
Yes.
really,
Yes, I
it's more,
was.
you can learn these little tricks.
Yeah.
But when the authenticity, I think, maybe comes
Right.
out, and we spoke
Right.
about other authors before we came on, when the authenticity is there, no matter what it is and what, the genre is and what the tone is, it's going to come through that way, right? So maybe the learning is more about how to describe self through writing, how to really say what you're feeling, whether it's funny, it's sad, it's anger, it's whatever it is.
Right.
How to dig down more into that,
Yeah.
which is I'm sure what you learned as an actor actress, as a performer,
Yeah.
I mean, theater is big, right? Because you also
Yeah.
have to project,
Right.
you know,
Yes.
did that help
Yeah.
you at all? Theater, I mean, these other positions
Uh,
that you had along your life's career?
in my illustrious career that no one knows
Well,
about.
you've had I mean, you've
Um,
done a lot, which I'm sure helps your writing.
I have done a
All
lot.
those experiences, right?
It has. It has. Definitely the performing part, like I'm doing a reading on Friday, and I don't really get into my head about it because I know what that feels like to be in front of audiences and standing up and reading and whatnot. I prefer that actually um, to to uh, to just writing. Like I need to get my yayas out, to truly get my yayas out, I need to stand up in front of a crowd. And then also, that is pure, unadulterated, instant feedback. So what I thought was funny in my head and reading to nobody in my in my house out loud, it's going to be completely different on Friday. I
Do you have
don't.
a safe space person that you read to besides
Yes,
reading
I
to
do.
yourself out loud?
Yes,
Okay.
my best friend. I have dragged
Okay.
her. Not only have I dragged her through all of my stand-up gigs that I had in LA, but she'll sit there and I will read to her and I'll watch her. And, it's good, but also since she knows me, I don't know if I'm getting like a truly subjective or
Right.
objective opinion. So, that to me is where the joy comes from. Yes, writing, but it's such a solitary endeavor, and I need that next level
Yes. Yes.
in
I can
front,
see that.
reading in
I
front of.
completely understand that. Yes. I could
There's
see
nothing
that.
like that. There is absolutely nothing like reading or doing anything really in front of an audience.
And you're right. And when you talk about the feedback that you get too from reading out loud, I'm sure that over the years that has also helped you with how to express yourself through the writing, right?
Absolutely.
Because you
Oh
start to
yeah.
key into, oh, that kind of thing is a lot funnier with audiences. But then there's the different audience, right? Like our
Oh
audience today is probably about 95 to 98% women. They're
yeah.
going to really find this funny because a lot of
Yeah.
it is women's issues and obviously from a woman's perspective. But you probably have learned along the way from that, right? What you're hearing audiences really crack up on, no matter what the particular essay is or whatever, you're kind of like, oh, that went really well. Why? Do you
Yeah.
go back
Oh
to
yeah.
it and look
Oh
at the
yeah.
process?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What's so interesting to me is what I know is going to do well. I'm just like, I am so convinced. And then I go there and it's just crickets.
Oh,
And it's just like, oh my God, wow, I was really off the mark there. So you don't know. I mean, audiences from one night to another or one reading to another
can
can
also be
be
different.
completely different
Yeah.
age groups. I mean, I even try, I also teach Pilates. And so I was teaching something on Sunday, and I'm always trying out sort of material, or maybe I remember something from the book that I want to like get a feel for, like how it works in front of people. And these gals were like early 20s, and they were having none of it. They didn't give a crap about my stuff, about what I was saying. I mean, I felt like I was
Because they
80
didn't
years
get it.
old. They didn't get it, but it's like, oh my God, I'm so old. I am, but what I've learned is you cannot change the material or yourself
No.
based on whether you're getting a laugh or not. That is one event. That is one reading. That is could be one person. I used to do that. I'm like, oh, I have to change it now because it didn't work. You got to do it at least like
A couple of
five or
times
better
with different
times.
audiences.
Sure. It's just like when you're
Yeah.
editing and if three people, it's like the rule of three. If like three readers said that first paragraph does not work, you kind of have to look at that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I
if
get
one
that.
person doesn't like it, I don't know. That's one person. And then I always look at the source.
You
You
know, it
have
goes back.
to.
I know,
You have
absolutely.
to.
But it always goes back, I think, to what you had said before, which is that authenticity. Because, like, just look at there's some amazing women stand-ups these days,
Yeah. Yeah.
Latinas and women, in middle age that are
Yeah.
talking about what they are going through. It's so much real when you're the person who's going through it and then relay it rather than trying to think of something you think might be funny that you didn't actually go through, right?
Right. Or pretend that you care about something that you really don't care about, but that may be popular for uh, a generation or a demographic. But if it's not if you can't really speak to it in an authentic way, I'm not going to do it. Like I know menopause is really big now, for women to talk about. I'm not talking about it. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't interest me. I don't
Right.
think it's funny. I mean, let somebody else do it. They
Yeah,
can
that's
probably
good.
do it. They could do
I
it
think
better
that's a
than
good message for the
they could
writers
do it
out
better
there.
than
So
me. Yeah,
thank
there
you.
are plenty of other people that can talk about X, Y, and Z. You don't need to talk about everything.
Yeah. Stick
You
to
know?
your journey and what shakes you
Yeah.
up and makes you laugh and what you find like you want to look at 10 times,
I'm
Stick
just
to those
now
things.
right. I'm just now really figuring out how to stay in my lane. I mean, I used to swerve and bob and weave like a drunk driver when I was younger, like, oh, I'll go over here. I mean, I would like be bumping into the guardrails and stuff, like just
Oh,
trying to like find my lane.
oh,
And I,
absolutely. My college roommate told me at one point, that sounds like Stephen King. That's
oh
something I
my
was writing,
God,
and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm reading a lot of Stephen King these days.
because you're
Not to
trying to
get into
like,
serial killers and all of that, but
no,
anyway.
but you're trying to like figure out what's popular or what's
Yeah,
trending or what's going to work. You don't know what's going to work.
right.
Stay in your lane. I'm
Stay in
staying
your
in my
lane.
lane, which don't get me wrong, is really difficult if you're a creative person. You're like, oh, I want to try that, or well, that looks good over there. Trying things is not bad, but at some point you just can't. I can't be all over the road.
Right, right.
I like roadkill. I mean,
Is anything off? It just made me think of it. Is anything off limits? Like, do you ever like think that you're going to write about something and then you think, ugh, somebody in the audience might be offended or something? Do you ever
oh,
think of that, or do you just do your thing and you don't worry and you put it out there?
um, always in the beginning, I never self-edit. Never. It's like, can I curse on this podcast?
Oh,
No,
sure.
that was a question. Are you there? Stay awake. I think, would you take a nap? Myrna, yes. Okay, so I call it the shitty first draft. You got to put everything down there. No self-edit, no critiquing. I never think about, is this going to offend? What I think about is, am I being insensitive? Now, maybe that's the same thing, but I don't think it is. I don't. Mm. There's
No,
no
because it's
point.
hard these days because I
It
know when
is
you
very
interact
hard.
with comedians, they're worried
Is
about it because everybody's offended about something. But then I feel that takes away from the comedy and the whole
right,
idea we talked about initially, which is it's a release for people. And there's
right,
all these horrific things that are happening out in the world and all of this
right.
stuff. And it's the comedy that brings us back to our humanity and makes us feel better and makes us, just like
Yeah.
enjoy life.
Well, here's the thing. If it's funny, it's funny. But if it's not funny and you're just saying stuff because you think it's provocative or profound or whatever, but
That's
it's not
different.
funny,
Yes.
that doesn't work.
Okay.
I'm not out to insult anybody necessarily. So I think that's where the insensitivity comes in more than um, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
a
that's what I thought I'd
fine
ask.
line, but I don't, unless it's like, uh, unless it's mean spirited. I'm not out to like be unkind or mean spirited. So I'm very mindful of that. But as far as my vulnerability, or maybe some things that might be a little shocking or untraditional or unconventional, or you may not agree with. Those are all fair. That's all fair game. That's all fair game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
way to go and a good perspective. What about influences for you? Are there any authors that you've either grown up with or that you've read more recently, or even performers that have just like left you belly laughing, or maybe even somebody, a professor who was a writer, anybody that may have influenced
Yeah.
you, or somebody today that's cracking you up? Anything you want to share there?
I think growing up, it was always like the variety shows. It was the Lucille Ball, it was the Carol Burnett, it was the, then it was, I mean, even Mel Brooks and, like the old comics, the old Jews.
Yeah.
And
I
then
love
it
it.
was, and then when in the early 90s, it was like the alternative comedy scene, like
Hmm.
Mark Maron, who I still love, and Julia Sweeney, and Kathy Griffin is a huge influence. Sandra Bernhard, to me, like does everything. And then authors wise, really, I mean, he's almost like it's almost a cliche to say, but David Sedaris is huge influence. His sister, Amy Sedaris, who I adore, Strangers with
Oh,
Candy, if you haven't
oh
seen.
no. Okay.
Oh my God.
No. Okay.
You know what? Cut this short
Here
and
it
go
is,
start
listeners.
watching.
Okay.
I mean, to me,
Okay.
hilarious. David Letterman. I
Yeah.
mean, smart. Larry David, his writing now in New Yorker. I mean, just smart comedy, not cheap laughs.
Did
Kind
you
of
like Woody
people.
Allen?
Well, that's a hot topic. Um,
Poor. Like
before,
before Cosby,
yeah. I mean,
Poor Woody.
sure. I mean,
I
Annie
mean,
Hall,
it
of
just made me
course.
think of that when you were talking about like
Yeah,
smart stuff or more intellectual, you have to think
yeah. Of
about
course,
it, but then you
yeah,
laugh afterwards kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah. Sure. Annie Hall, classic.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a
So
lot.
you draw from that, but really, I think what I'm hearing you say, you have to find your lane. You have to have that authenticity. It has to come from you and your experiences, really, to be that funny.
I think so. I mean, look, nobody's an expert on any of this stuff. And nobody knows what's going to hit, what's going to be funny. So what else do you have? It's that old, what is that? I think maybe was it Woody Allen who said, everyone else, be yourself, everyone else is taken.
Oh, I think it might be him. Did
You
he say?
know, like,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
this is it.
Everyone else is
Like
taken.
this
Yeah.
is it. Like, so make the best of what you have and make the most of
Right.
it. I
That's
mean, what
right.
else? Don't try to be anybody. Oh God, I tried so long. It
I know
doesn't
you talk
work.
about all those like
Oh my
little off ramp
God.
things you took,
Or
and then you got
I'm
back on your path,
right.
and then
Or I'm gonna deliver my humor in so and so's voice, kind of thing. And it's like, oh
yeah.
my God, none of that works. It's none of it works. So yeah, you have yourself. It should be enough.
Well, listen, Dani, is there anything you want to tell our listeners before we conclude? Like a new project you're thinking about, anything else you're working on, anything else that we didn't get to about the book? It is a collection of essays that you want to say. Whatever you'd like to tell listeners, we will have credits at the end so people can find your website and look more into your books and buy them. But anything else you'd like to say about what your
Where's
plans are?
Wear sunscreen, drink plenty of water. No, no, that is true. I do.
We've heard that a lot in Sanctuary.
I do mean that
I
because
know, I know. The water thing especially.
and the sun kills. Okay.
Yeah, it does. Well, you could tell I'm not spending too much time out.
No, me neither.
I get my 10 minutes for the vitamin D. I come back up.
I went on a hike this weekend with friends and I was covered from head to toe. No joke. They were like shorts, whatever. I'm like, this does not see the light of day.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
I am working on getting the book out, as many readers as possible. I think in what we're living through right now, everybody needs just something, some escapism, some distraction, a laugh. And if I can do that and help for people, that brings me such joy. So, and then I'm out on the road reading and doing readings and
And
thinking
you have your
about what.
contact page there. If anybody listening says, "Oh, I'd like to have her visit and speak on this or whatever," they can get to
Oh,
that through
sure.
your
Oh,
website.
yeah.
Okay.
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, brisses. I will go anywhere. I
Okay.
will talk to anyone.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Well, thank you. I mean, this has
Oh,
been a joy. And again, I hope you feel this, listeners, but I'm telling you, please go check out her book. She's very funny. And we all need that today. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me on the show. So I'll
thank you for
close.
having me.
You're very welcome. I'll close as I always do by wishing all of our listeners and our readers good health, happiness, and continued inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today.